Good morning. Welcome to this great festive event. First of all, I'd like to welcome Governor Haslam, Senator Jim Tracy, Representative Rick Tillis, Representative Pat Marsh, Jerry Mansfield from South Central Development District. Are any of the TDOT representatives here?
We got several folks, yeah.
Okay, I believe Neil Hansen.
Yeah, Neil's here.
Neil, welcome. He's with the Transportation Alternative Grant Program. Lisa Dunn is the program supervisor, and Sarah Sutton is the program manager. I'd also like to welcome our local Lincoln County Mayor, Bill Newman, all the board of mayor and aldermen that were able to attend, members of the local Camp Blount committee that have done a phenomenal job on creating a vision for Camp Blount, as well as Chris Mitchell, who has prepared this area for us and is the Director of Recreation for the City of Fayetteville. And I couldn't not help thanking FPU, Fayetteville Public Utilities, not only for being here today and recording this, but also for all the work that they did on the Camp Blount, helping clear a lot of area with this big monster machine that they have that devours everything. The last time that I met with Governor Haslam was about 18 months ago, and he was here to give us a formal announcement that we had two brand new industries coming into town: Tennessee Molding and Die and Nippon Steel, excuse me. When I heard he was coming again today, they didn't tell me what it was, and they mentioned that it was related to TDOT, and I thought, he's coming here to tell us that they're going to raise the speed limit on Highway 64 on the east side of town from 45 to 55 miles an hour. I found that it wasn't. Instead, they're giving us money, which is much better, but it also shows that even the governor can't get everything done in the state of Tennessee. But I wore this shirt not because it was anything other than a symbol for what the governor has elected to do and been able to accomplish, and that was Team Tennessee. And it's a shirt I got at last year's governor's conference. And like any team, you need a good coach, and we have a phenomenal coach, and we've got different agencies that are playing ball with us and making sure that we are successful down here in Fayetteville, Tennessee, and along and across the state. Organizations like the Department of Economic and Community Development, the Department of Tourism, the War Commission that was so instrumental in us acquiring Camp Blount, and not to mention TDOT. The Greenway project starts uptown and comes down here. We're in phase one right now where we're starting to actually acquire the land and do the work to put the Greenway in, but it lands right here at Stonebridge Park. The governor's announcement today will outline a program and some funding to be able to take it to the next step, which is going across the river to Camp Blount area, at which point in time that whole area will be able to be developed in a much needed way. Now jobs are important. They're very important. But the quality of life that people have within a community, be it for those who live here, work here, or are thinking of coming here, is imperative. And this initiative will be a way of interfacing with all the qualities of life, plus the need for jobs in the city of Fayetteville and in Lincoln County. So I'd like to thank all the government agencies that were working with us for the last couple of years on a fast track to get us squared away for some news on the setback back in 2015, but we're on the way to conquering those. And again, I'd like to thank the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for their ability to see the vision that we have for this community and help with the funding and the direction that we go. But I think that I've said enough. I'd like you to welcome the Governor of Tennessee, Bill Haslam.
Thanks, Mayor. I appreciate that.
Hopefully you're not like me. When I was the mayor of Knoxville, I was introducing then Governor Bredesen, and I said, help me welcome the governor of Tennessee, and I totally froze and forgot his name. So thanks for remembering my name there. Hey, I do remember the last time I was here, it was actually snowing that day. So we're going to get it right one day. One day it's snowing, one day it's the hottest day of the summer. We'll be here on a pleasant fall or spring day one time, I assure you. We are here, the mayor's right, to announce a grant for $1,099,037. I never have understood why we don't just come up with another, or whatever that'd be, $800 to make it an even $1.1 million. But for a transportation alternative grant for the city of Fayetteville. It'll be for Stonebridge Park, right here, to Camp Blount Connector Project. The project will provide a pedestrian connection between the park and historical Camp Blount via the Elk River. The trail would continue, it's a widening an existing trail from 5 to 10 feet, continue over a proposed 10-foot wide steel truss pedestrian bridge, will provide a safe crossing over the Elk River and connect with the historical overlook Camp Blount. It'll obviously create a new historical destination point while increasing the accessibility of Stonebridge Park. Let me say one thing real quick. A lot of you followed the process this past year of what we called the Improve Act. It was the largest tax cut in the history of the state of Tennessee, combined with a way to pay for our roads and bridges. 962 projects in all 95 counties, East, Middle, and West Tennessee. Lots of great help from all of your elected representatives up here, Representative Tillis and Marsh and Senator Tracy. And I think that was a huge step forward for the state. But this is actually not part of that money. This is federal money that comes to us specifically to be used for transportation alternatives. Okay, they say this can't go into your regular road money. So the idea is, what are alternative transportation modes that we can use to connect people and to improve the quality of life? These are highly competitive grants, so I want to thank the folks from here that put it together. I know I had a chance to meet a lot of the aldermen, a lot of members of the Board of Planning, and I appreciate your work. These are highly competitive grants, and the fact that the city of Fayetteville received a grant for really $1.1 million says a lot about the quality of the presentation as well as the need. So on behalf of the state of Tennessee, congratulations. I'd love now for three other folks that I most enjoy working with in Nashville all happen to be here today, and I'd like to ask them to come up. We'll have Senator Tracy and then Representative Marsh and then Representative Tillis say a quick word.
First of all, good morning. Thank you, Governor, for coming to Lincoln County. We're glad to have you to come to Lincoln County anytime, whether it's snowing or whether it's 95 degrees. We don't care. We're glad to have you here, particularly, Governor, when you're bringing a check, and a check that's over $1 million. Let me just say this. Governor said it exactly right, and I've been around for a little while, State Senator. I think this may be the biggest check that I've seen on one of these grants. And as he said, ought to be something that Fayetteville and Lincoln County should be very proud of. It's a very competitive grant. To get these grants, you're competing with other communities across the state, so it's a big deal for Lincoln County to get this grant. Furthermore, I'm excited for Fayetteville and Lincoln County because of Camp Blount and what this is going to do for the historical folks that are very interested in history and also for tourism. This is going to be great for the whole community. I'm excited to be here today, glad to be here today to see this used for this purpose. Thank you all that were involved in this, whether it be TDOT and the local officials here. It's always a joy to work with all the local officials. Mayor said it right. When you start working on things like this, it takes a team approach. That means local, state, all working together and working with these other organizations, or things like this doesn't happen. So I'm glad to be here today. Congratulations to Fayetteville and Lincoln County for receiving this grant today.
Thank you. I appreciate everything that Fayetteville has done to try to get this grant. Appreciate the governor for coming down, and Jim and Rick for being here and helping on this. This is a huge feather in our cap in Fayetteville and Lincoln County. And I think to have this park tied into Camp Blount and all the work that's going on about Camp Blount right now, it's a really bright future for Fayetteville and Lincoln County if we can put all this together. And there's a group of us working very hard to try to do that. So I appreciate everyone's help. Thank you for being here today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to ask our historian, Jerry Mansfield. Governor Blount in succession, what number was he as governor? Okay, we think maybe second, but can you imagine when he was governor back in the early 1800s, and we'd be standing here today, and our 49th governor would be bringing a check for over $1 million. It's hard to believe, but the great thing is in 100 or 200 years, people will see that bridge and looked at the vision that was held by the governor and the people here in the state to use the money the way they are here. And every time people walk across that bridge, it's a bridge from the present to the past. I'm really excited about the project. Mayor Law was showing me everything that's going to go on there in the park, and that's going to be a huge asset to Fayetteville and Lincoln County. I'm grateful for everybody that's involved. I can't wait to see it get finished and what it's going to be for Fayetteville and Lincoln County. So thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone that was involved in this project and the work that's going to be done continuing forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Jim, Pat, and Rick. I think this is a real reflection on the administration that Governor Haslam has had for what will be a successful 8 years. You can't do those things that add to the quality of life unless you're running your business, the basis of it, where you're making money and saving money. Not only is the quality of our education and the rest of life in Tennessee benefited by his administration, but money has been made that we're able to reinvest in our communities that are real quality of life issues. And I would just like to thank him and the rest of the legislature for all y'all have done, and especially for what you've done for Fayetteville and Lincoln County. Thank you.
All right, we're going to present this check here in Friday banking hours. You better hurry up.
Y'all come on in, everybody come together around there, just slide in there, Jim, Matt, Rick. Come on in.
No, you're the mayor.
All right, stay cool, everybody.
We know it's.
Yes, sir.
So, Governor, if you would, talk to us in 10 or 20 years, what would you like to see here?
This is a combination of a wonderful historical spot that means something to us in Tennessee. Where we talk about being volunteers, you can rightfully claim this is where it began. So that's obviously a point. Second, it can be a tourism destination. And one of the things we're trying to focus on, particularly some of our more small towns and rural areas, is how do we create business, and we're convinced that tourism is one of the best ways to do that. The final thing is this. You know, it's all about quality of life. People decide, more today than ever, people decide where they're going to live by where they want to live. Where would they, that's a great place to raise my family. That's a great place to base my business. And when you have a park like this and the added amenities that this bridge will mean, I think more people will say, I want to live there. I want to raise my children here.
You good?
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you all.
thank you.
Appreciate it very much.